2-minute answer, and you'll find that quite the challenge, I think, because it's a fun one. Do you support VDOT's current plan for I-66 hot lanes, HOV, and transit inside the Beltway? If not, do you have an alternative plan for moving traffic on I-66 through Arlington?
So I think the VDOT plan, such as it is, needs a lot more work before it can be qualified as a plan. It's a concept in theory that needs a lot of supporting data to make me comfortable that it's a fully baked solution, as opposed to a precursor to what has long been VDOT's interest, and that is finding an opportunity to widen the road. So as I think about tolling behavior, behavioral economics, there's still a lot more that I want to see that has not been published thus far in terms of what will be the impact on roads that are vital to our transportation network, Lee Highway, 29, Wilson, etc. In theory, it would be great if we could all of a sudden have no secondary impact, no ancillary impact on those roads. We could also raise money for multimodal and provide people with their consistent trip on 66. It seems that it's going to promise a lot, and I haven't seen the data that backs up that it will be able to deliver. So for me, I am in the information gathering stage. I need to see a lot more before I evaluate it, but I think we as a community have a right to be skeptical, because let's be frank, let's be clear. Those of us who've lived in Arlington for a long time know that it's long been VDOT's position that it wants to widen I-66. And if this is just simply a precursor to distract us from what would be a catastrophically wrong policy moving forward, that's something that gives me great pause and concern.
So with respect to the 66 plan, I have questions, is how I would characterize my position on it. Much like our Transportation Commission here in Arlington has raised. Chief among them is which multimodal investments and in what order. There are a lot of ideas swirling out there about what toll funds could be invested in to actually give people options. The whole principle with 66 has to be moving more people throughout the corridor throughout 66 without adding more cars to the road. And so ensuring that investments, whether they be in slug infrastructure or improvements to Metro or expanding the Custis Trail, thinking more critically about in what order and which of those multimodal investments are actually likely to alleviate the number of cars on the road. Which leads to the second question, of course, which is the impact on our arterial streets. Arlington's own transportation division is doing its own assessment of VDOT's supposed claim that there will not be impact or overflow of folks trying to avoid tolls. That is, I think, an open question here in Arlington. One of the other questions, I think, is the necessity of tolling in both directions. Whether that is sort of anticipatory about greater traffic out to Tyson's and whether that really is justified at this time. I think this is a plan that needs a lot of work. I do think Arlington can play a role in helping it become a better plan. And the reason I think Arlington has that role in helping it become a better plan is to the second part of your question, which is, do you have another one? The question, of course, is what's the alternative? And I think widening is so problematic for our community. Because of induced demand, it leads to more cars sitting there. So same amount of congestion with more vehicles, which is terrible for our air quality. As our population grows, we need an alternative to widening, because I do think widening is the worst case scenario for Arlington County.
Well, my neighborhood sits right next to I-66. And I can tell you every spring and fall I have to go outside and spray down my house because black soot is so thick from the emissions from the folks on 66. More emissions come out of cars sitting on 66 than they do moving. The American Lung Association has given Arlington County an F rating because we have some of the most polluted air in the country because we're ringed in by highways. I'm against the tolling of I-66 because I know that it's going to hit our arterial streets and it's going to cause congestion on Lee Highway. I know we've had this discussion tonight and we folks oppose widening of 66, but it's going to happen one day, folks. It's been boiling for 25 years or more since I-66 went in, that this is going to get widened. It'd be much better to have traffic moving on I-66 in terms of air quality and flow of traffic than not having the ability to put more cars on it. Majority of the problem is for I-66 is not the folks that people live in the county, it's people that come in and out of the county are using I-66 and congesting our roads. It's very frustrating to live near I-66 because I have to use I-66 to get maybe 2 stops up to go someplace, and it's backed up all the time, every day, no matter what time it is, it's backed up. And those spot improvements were not spot improvements off, they've made this road worse. So and I believe that we need to find a way to widen 66 and get the benefits that Arlington needs out of the widening of 66.
Well, I certainly agree with both Katie and Mike that we need to get the traffic moving on I-66. The widening is not the only alternative to tolling. Now, we understand tolling is probably not going to fly, but widening is not the only alternative. There is an alternative. It's called high tech. There is a certain camera out there. It's an infrared, something near something or other. It's some advanced technology that identifies conclusively the number of people who occupy a vehicle. That's the information that is needed to enforce current HOV2 restrictions. We know that the fact that we cannot enforce these restrictions with the current technology that VDOT has is part of the congestion problem, because VDOT's own statistics show that 50% of the vehicles on westbound I-66 during rush hour are single occupancy vehicles. Now, some of those, probably a small fraction, are legitimately there. The rest are illegal. If we could enforce HOV2 that would serve at a minimum as a baseline to tell us what VDOT needs to do next. For example, if HOV2 were enforced and weren't adequate, it could then go to HOV3. There are several steps it could take before either widening or tolling. It has not adequately researched those steps. If I'm elected to county board, I'm going to charge the Transportation Commission to charge VDOT to do it.